Books, books. I like books. I'm gonna read them all.
Hi readers, Chris here. Welcome to my channel where I review fantasy, Stephen King, all sorts of books, and today I'm going to be counting down my top 10 most anticipated book releases for August 2023. I personally am really excited about August because not only do I have a big trip coming up, but there's also some books coming out this month that I am super excited about. Typically, I try to stay away from sequels, but I do have a couple on my list this month because these are just things I'm really excited about. These are not going to be in any sort of order other than by publication date, so I'm going to jump in with my number one pick of the month, Cassiel's Servant by Jacqueline Carey. This is definitely my favorite pick of the month, my favorite pick. I am a huge Jacqueline Carey fan. If you're not familiar with her, she wrote the Cassiel's Dart series. She's written a ton of stuff over the past few years, and she is, hands down, one of my absolute favorite adult fantasy authors of all time. I love her books so much. And it's been a while since she's come out with one, so I'm super excited about this one. This is actually supposed to be a prequel to her famous Cassiel's Dart series. So in that series, there is this hot, steamy romance between Phaedra and this character Jocelyn, and the story is told from Phaedra's point of view, but this story is focusing on Jocelyn and his early days, so this should be really cool. So I will read the description on Amazon, which says, in Cassiel's Dart, a daring young courtesan uncovered a plot to destroy her beloved homeland. But hers is only half the tale. Now, see the other half of the heart that lived it. Cassiel's Servant is a retelling of cult favorite Cassiel's Dart from the point of view of Jocelyn, Cassiel, a warrior priest and protector of Phaedra no Delani. He's sworn to celibacy, and the blade as surely as she's pledged to pleasure. But the gods they serve have bound them together. When both are betrayed, they must rely on each other to survive. From his earliest training to captivity among their enemies, his journey with Phaedra to avert the conquest of Terre d'Ange shatters body and mind and brings him an impossible love that he will do anything to keep, even if it means breaking all vows and losing his soul. Okay, so Jocelyn's whole thing in the Cassiel's Dart series is that he is like sworn to this god, Cassiel. And Cassiel is basically the equivalent of kind of like a Catholic priest, where they believe in celibacy. Like, they live to serve, to protect the people that they are meant to protect, and that is it. No love, no distractions, no bodily pleasures, and Jocelyn is by the book. He is a warrior priest. This is the code in which he lives his life. But then he meets Phaedra and things start to change for him, but not right away. You'd have to read the book to understand, but I'm so excited for this one, and I'm so excited to be doing a buddy read as well. Reading them, hopefully you still want to buddy read this with me, because I'm calling you out here. Ooh, so excited about this one. If you are excited about Cassiel's Servant, it'll be out on August 1st. My second pick for August is Bring Me Your Midnight by Rachel Griffin. I don't know anything about this author, but when I was looking at all the books coming out this month, this one sounded kind of cool. So this is a YA fantasy, and it's supposed to be like a romance type fantasy, which sometimes can be hit or miss for me, but this one says it's about forbidden love, and that's the kind of stuff I like. So according to Amazon, this one says, Tana Fairchild's fate has never been in question. Her life has been planned out since the moment she was born. She is to marry the governor's son, Landon, and secure an unprecedented alliance between the witches of her home island and the mainlanders who see her very existence as a threat. Tana's coven has appeased those who fear her power for years by releasing most of their magic into the ocean during the full moon. But when Tana misses the midnight ritual, a fatal mistake, there is no one she can turn to for help until she meets Wolf. Wolf claims he is from a coven that practices dark magic, making him one of the only people who can help her. But he refuses to let Tana's power rush into the sea and instead teaches her his forbidden magic, a magic that makes her feel powerful, alive. As the sea grows more violent, her coven loses control of the currents, a danger that could destroy the alliance as well as her island. Tana will have to choose between love and duty, between loyalty to her people and loyalty to her heart. Marrying Landon would secure peace for her coven, but losing Wolf and his wild magic could cost her everything else. Ooh, okay, yes. You know what this reminds me of? This kind of reminds me of Blood and Ash, Jennifer Armentrout, but obviously this is more of a YA version, but I still feel we have that, like, you know, this girl who's had her whole life planned out for her, her destiny, but of course then she meets someone who changes that for her. So it's giving me Blood and Ash vibes, which I enjoyed for the most part. But hopefully this one will turn out even better. So if Bring Me Your Midnight sounds like it might be even better to you, it'll be available on August 1st. My third pick for August is Guardians of Dawn, Zhara. And the reason that I picked this book is because it is described as Sailor Moon meets Cinder. I love Sailor Moon and I love Cinder, so if you put those things together, that sounds amazing to me. So hopefully this sounds amazing to you. But according to Amazon, it says, magic flickers, love flames, chaos reigns. Magic is forbidden throughout the morning realms. Magicians are called an abomination and blamed for the plague of monsters that razed the land 20 years before. Jin Zhara already had enough to worry about. Appeasing her stepmother's cruel whims, looking after her blind younger sister, and keeping her own magical gifts under control, without having to deal with the rumors of monsters reemerging in the marsh. But when a chance encounter with an easily flustered young man named Han brings her into contact with a secret magical liberation organization called the Guardians of Dawn, Zhara realizes there may be more to these rumors than she thought. A mysterious plague is corrupting the magicians of Zenhai and transforming them into monsters, and the Guardians of Dawn believe a demon is responsible. In order to restore humanity and bring peace to the world, Zhara must discover the elemental warrior within, lest the balance between order and chaos is lost forever. So reading that, I feel like doesn't scream Sailor Moon at me, but I feel like they're probably saying because she has some sort of elemental power, maybe that makes her similar to a Sailor Scout. This is also being described as the first book in a series, so maybe she has some sort of fire power, and maybe in the next book there'll be a character that has water power, so maybe it'll build to something like that. That's what I'm hoping anyway. But if a Guardians of Dawn Zhara sounds like something that could be hopeful to you, it'll be available on August 1st. My fourth pick for August is something a little bit different, and that is Mr. Magic by Kiersten White. Kiersten White is an author that I've been wanting to check out. I do have one of her books. I just haven't gotten to it yet. But this also sounds like it could be fun. She is a horror writer, but I've heard that her books are more like, not so much like scary horror, but like kind of that fun, humorous horror vibe. And that's the stuff that I really go for. So hopefully this will fit into that category. But this book says, 30 years after a tragic accident shut down production of the classic children's program Mr. Magic, the 5 surviving cast members have done their best to move on. But just as generations of cultishly devoted fans still cling to the lessons they learned from the show, the cast, known as the Circle of Friends, have spent their lives searching for happiness they felt while they were on it. The feeling of belonging and the protection of Mr. Magic. But no surviving video of the show, no evidence of who directed or produced it, and no records of who or what the beloved host actually was, memories are all the former Circle of Friends has. Then, a twist of fate brings the castmates back together at the remote desert filming compound that feels like it's been waiting for them all the time. Even though they haven't seen each other for years, they understand one another better than anyone has since. After all, they're the only ones who hold the secret of the circle, the mystery of the magic man and his infinitely black cape, and maybe the answers to what really happened on that deadly last day. But as the circle of friends reclaims parts of their past, they begin to wonder, are they here by choice, or have they been lured into a trap? Dun, dun, dun. Oh, wait, there's one last line. Because magic never forgets the taste of your friendship. Ooh, I mean, that last line, magic never forgets the taste of your friendship. I feel like that's both beautiful but also horrible depending on how you look at it, and I think that's really funny. Also, can we just say the cover of this book also looks super cool. So if Mr. Magic sounds cool to you, it'll be available on August 8th. My fifth book for August is going to be Vampires of El Norte by Isabel Canas. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, but I'm probably not. But this book is really giving me Silvia Moreno Garcia vibes, but I'll read what it says and you can let me know what you think. So this book says, as the daughter of a rancher in 1840s Mexico, Niña knows a thing or two about monsters. Her home has long been threatened by tensions with Anglo settlers from the north. But something more sinister lurks near the ranch at night. Something that drains men of their blood and leaves them for dead. Something that once attacked Niña 9 years ago. Believing Niña dead, Nestor has been on the run from his grief ever since. Moving from ranch to ranch, working as a vaquero, but no amount of drink can dispel the night terrors of sharp teeth. No woman can erase his childhood sweetheart from his mind. When the United States invades Mexico in 1846, the two are brought abruptly together on the road to war. Niña as a curandera, a healer striving to prove her worth to her father so that he does not marry her off to a stranger, and Nestor as a member of the auxiliary cavalry of ranchers and vaqueros. But the shock of their reunion and Niña's rage at Nestor for seemingly abandoning her long ago is quickly overshadowed by the appearance of Nightmare made flesh. And unless Niña and Nestor can work through their past and face the future together, neither will survive to see the dawn. So clearly we have the Mexican setting, the, Mexico in the past, and then we also have the vampire element. So all of that is giving me the Silvia Moreno Garcia vibes, but I am open to having a similar story told. And again, I do love me a vampire tale. So if you love a vampire tale, Vampires of El Norte will be available on August 15th. My sixth pick for August is going to be The Invisible Hour by Alice Hoffman. And yes, that's right. Practical Magic, Alice Hoffman. She's back again with another magical realism book. And this time, this one says, on a brilliant June day, when Mia Jacob can no longer see a way to survive, the power of words saves her. The Scarlet Letter was written almost 200 years earlier, but it seems to tell the story of Mia's mother, Ivy, and their life inside the community, an impressive cult in western Massachusetts where contact with the outside world is forbidden and books are considered evil. But how could this be? How could Nathaniel Hawthorne have so perfectly captured the pain and loss that Mia carries inside her? Through a journey of heartbreak, love, and time, Mia must abandon the rules she was raised with at the community. As she does, she realizes that reading can transport you to other worlds or bring them to you, and that readers and writers affect one another in mysterious ways. She learns that time is more fluid than she can imagine, and love is stronger than any chain that binds you. As a girl, Mia fell in love with the book. Now, as a young woman, she falls in love with a brilliant writer as she makes her way back in time. But what if Nathaniel Hawthorne never wrote the Scarlet Letter? And what if Mia Jacob never found it on the day she planned to die? Nathaniel Hawthorne wrote, "A single dream is more powerful than 1,000 realities." This is the story of one woman's dream. For a little while, it came true. This sounds like it could be really good. There is always the risk with a book like this that it might be like a little slow or a little boring, but I trust Alice Hoffman. I trust Alice Hoffman. So if you trust Alice Hoffman, The Invisible Hour will be available on August 15th. My seventh pick for August is a supernatural YA romance, Strange Unearthly Things by Kelly Cray. This book is described as a hauntingly romantic paranormal Jane Eyre. And again, I am into like those supernatural type romances, so maybe this one could work for me. But this book says 18-year-old Jane Ray is a psychic artist. She draws what she sees, and what she sees are spirits and the supernatural. Growing up orphaned, she's now of legal age and can no longer return to the girls' school she's called home for most of her life. Lost and alone after the death of her lifelong friend, she receives an invitation to partake in a study at the English manor, Fairfax Hall, an investigation of the property that requires her specific area of expertise. Upon arrival, Jane understands this will be no ordinary study when she meets Elias Thornfield, the elusive proprietor of the estate, a boy her age, roguishly handsome, who dons a mysterious eye patch. During the study, it becomes clear that something is amiss, something having to do with Elias and the spiritual activity taking place around the manor. Turning to her art to unravel the mystery, Jane is shocked to find that her talents and her growing affection for Elias could be the key to saving him from a horrible fate. Okay, first of all, I love that they have the touch of Elias having an eye patch. I think that's really fun. I wonder why he has the eye patch. Is it because of some birth defect? Did something supernatural happen to him? Does he have like a hideous eyeball behind there? I don't know. I kind of want to find out, but if you want to find out, Strange Unearthly Things will be available on August 22nd. My eighth pick for August is Rain by Katherine McGee. If you've been around here for a while, you will know that I absolutely love, adore the American Royal series. And this is now the fourth book in the series, the fourth book. And I have to say, looking at this blurb, it does kind of give away spoilers from earlier in the series. So I'm not going to read it here because I don't want to give anything away if you hadn't read it yet. So I will just say that this book is described as a queen's life hangs in the balance, her siblings' decisions about what to do, and most of all, who to love, could change the course of history. Romance, duty, power, only one can triumph in this stunning conclusion to the New York Times best-selling American Royals series. I can't believe this is going to be the last one. I bet you there will be more, or maybe there will be offshoots. I don't know. But this series centers around four female characters. One is Beatrice, who is the daughter of the King of America. Because yes, in this world, the America has a royal family. So we have Beatrice. She is the heir. And then her younger sister, Samantha, is the spare. So instead of William and Harry, we have Beatrice and Samantha. And then we have Daphne, who is this socialite who will do anything in her power. She's trying to marry the girls' brother. There's a prince also, Prince Jefferson. Daphne wants to marry the prince so she can get into the royal family and get all the power and the money that she thinks she deserves. And then our fourth girl is this girl, Nina. And Nina has been Samantha, the younger sister's best friend, like since they were children. Because Nina's mother, I forget exactly, but Nina is a commoner, but her and Samantha have been best friends their whole life. And of course, she also loves Jefferson as well. So there's all these love triangles, there's all this drama set in America's royal family. So if you like that type of stuff, like royalty stories, it's got that going for it. It's got drama going for it. It's got great female characters going for it. Love triangles, it's got so much good stuff going for it. So if you can't tell, I am super excited about Rain. If you're excited about Rain, it'll be available on August 29th. My ninth pick for August is also a sequel, and that is Never a Hero by Vanessa Len. And this is the sequel to Only a Monster, which I read, I believe, last year, and I actually really liked that book. I ended up really liking it. And it had a really crazy ending, so I'm like dying to know what happens next. And because of that, I think I might actually pick this one up. So this says that despite all the odds, Joan achieved the impossible. But her success has come at a terrible cost. She alone remembers what happened. Now Aaron, her hard-won friend, and maybe more, is an enemy trying to kill her. And Nick, the boy she loved, is a stranger who doesn't even know her name. Only Joan remembers that a greater and more dangerous enemy is still out there. When a deadly force attacks Joan and forces her back into the monster world, she finds herself on the run with Nick as Aaron closes in. Torn between love and family and monstrous choices, Joan must find a way to regather her old allies and face down the deadliest of enemies and to save the timeline itself. Dun, dun, dun. So it says that the series is going to be a trilogy, and this is only the second book. So I am already preparing myself that it's probably going to end on a cliffhanger, but that's okay. The first one did get a little timey-wimey with timelines and all this different stuff, but I feel like overall the story was really fun. The main character comes from a line of monsters. They're creatures that basically steal the life force of humans to travel in time. It's kind of a cool setup, the way that it's done in the book. But overall, I thought it was a pretty fun story, and I really want to know what happens. So if you really want to know what happens, Never a Hero will be out on August 29th. And finally, that brings me to number 10, which is kind of a random pick, but I chose The Phoenix King by Aparna Verna. This is an adult fantasy debut, and I love myself a phoenix, so hopefully this one will work out. So this book is described as the Ravani kingdom was born of a prophecy, carved from unforgiving desert sands, and ruled by the raven's bloodline, those with the power to command eternal fire. Elena Adaya is the heir to the throne, and the only ravens who cannot wield her family's legendary magic. As her coronation approaches, she will do whatever it takes to prove herself a worthy successor to her revered father. But she doesn't anticipate the arrival of Yasin Knight, the notorious assassin who now claims fealty to the throne. Elena's father might trust Yasin to be a member of her royal guard, but she is certain he is hiding something. As the threat of war looms like a storm on the horizon, the two begin a dangerous dance of intrigue and betrayal, and the choices they make could burn down the world. Ooh, dun dun dun. It says that this is perfect for fans of S.A. Chakraborty, and if that is true, I do love S.A. Chakraborty's Davabad series, so hopefully this one will be as good as that one. It sounds like it could be. It sounds like it has a lot of the typical tropes that you hear in fantasy, but again, it's got the Phoenix thing going for it, so if this sounds like something that might be a winner for you, The Phoenix King will be available on August 29th. So that is all from me today. So now I want to know from you, what are you most looking forward to next month? Is that something I mentioned, something I didn't mention? Let Swiper and I know in the comments section below. And as always, hold that thought, Roscoe had to come say hello as well, so I need to give him a treat. Now I don't remember where I was, but I think I was at the end. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not already, please subscribe to my channel for more bookish stuff and more furry friends coming your way soon. All right, everyone, happy reading.